Hey everyone, it's Lisa, and today is Tuesday, and I thought today I would start my video, my experience on my Mastopexy. And I brought a few things up here to show you. I don't know if I'll get to the questions or not. I'm going to try not to hurry because I really want to tell you all the details. Let me get back to my questions. Oh no, that was something else. But anyway, you guys can remember from the last, gosh, I have a bunch of questions on this. Okay, you guys can remember that I was telling you that I'll start from the beginning. I'll start from the very beginning. So then I got pregnant with Will, got really big again. And after him, it was even worse. I mean, I was left with nothing but just skin. It was, I mean, amazing. And so I mentioned it to John that I really thought I wanted to do that. And he was, on board with it or whatever. We had never really talked about it before. So I told you I chose a doctor that was really popular, Dr. K's here in our community, Wilmington Plastic Surgery. All the doctors there are really Dr. Church, Dr. White, Dr. K's. Not sure who else is in there, but Dr. K's actually, I'm going to put a little write-up at the end of this video. He actually does reconstructive surgery for cancer patients. I felt really good with him. And so I went in. I think Will was almost a year when I went in. I had lost all of my weight. I had lost it for a while. And I told him that, I just basically wanted to, get implants, and I wanted to just basically fill up what I had. And he said I was borderline at the need of, getting a lift right then. But putting the implant in would probably, help lift. And so that's what we did. At that point, the thought of having a lift and all that cut and everything freaked me out. So he told me that he thought if he put the right size implant in, it would do that. And it did. And they looked great, and they were saline. Mentor was the brand or the maker of the implant, and it was the thing that everybody was getting at the time. At the time, silicone was not the thing to get. It was out. It was supposed to be dangerous and all this kind of stuff. So, have never regretted it. Even up until the time that I decided to get this done, it's not that I was just so unhappy. I never regretted getting implants. And if you're on the fence and you think it's something you've thought about for years and you really think it is, I really was glad that I did it. And I ended up being the exact same size that I was when I was pregnant, just in a better version. But so basically all he did was fill up the skin that I had. It's not like I asked him for a size. He just basically did what he thought was right. So, and they're supposed to be good for about 10 years. So I can remember at about 10 years thinking, should I worry about it? Which I don't know. I don't know what would happen if you just went on and on. Probably nothing. But I thought about it. And then in this past year, it's been about 12 years. And I was just thinking, gosh, I would just love to have higher boobs, firmer, just a whole younger look. And mine were always so wide, they really came outside of my frame. They were almost too big for my frame. And I just felt like, even though they didn't project out that much, they were just so, sometimes they were just so in your face. And sometimes you don't mind that, but sometimes you're just like, you want to wear a t-shirt and I have to think about that. So I mentioned it to John, and this is like a point that I want to make. And I really, this has been a big eye opener for me. And from the beginning, John was like, I like your boobs, he did not want me to have it done, but he is, such a kind, understanding, sweet husband that he wants me to be happy. So he went to the consultation with me, and they were so good. Dr. Case and his nurse were so good at literally drawing us a picture of what happens, assuring him that it wouldn't be down to nothing, that I would still be sexy. I would still have, it wasn't like, we were going to take it all away, that it was safe, all the things. And so like I said before, I think it's real important that your husband go with you. I do. Of course, this is all my opinion. So, we went, and then, that's when I decided to get the blepharoplasty too. And so at that appointment, we discussed what size I wanted to be. And a true mastopexy, I believe the true, definition of it is just a lift, not necessarily a reduction. So what I wanted, and I know I've said reduction, and I've had people say, well, you don't look like you had a reduction. And what it is it's a lift, and then they reduce the skin. They take out a lot of skin. And I'm going to show you a picture of what I had done in a minute. And so they reduce that skin a lot, but that doesn't really reduce the mass of your, boobs. And I had implant replacement. So they took out my old implants and then put a newer, different type of implant in, which I'm going to show you that too in just a minute. But I want to circle back to my point real quick. So we discussed, what look I wanted. I just, it was important to me that I still have a voluptuous look. I love being a woman. You guys know that. I love feeling sexy, and I didn't want to lose that. I just basically wanted to not, every time I did this, feel like I was, rubbing my boobs or whatever. And I wanted to just have something that looked a little neater. And I wanted to just give my boobs like a more youthful appearance just for me. It's only, I'm the only one, and John's the only one that's ever going to see them. But to me, the way you feel about yourself and the way you look at yourself just makes a big difference. So, but what I wanted to say is men do not care. I'm telling you, they don't care if they're floppy. They don't care if they're a little saggy. They don't care if your nipples are big after having kids and breastfeeding. They don't care. They don't care. They like it. And I think, in my mind, before John voiced all those opinions, I felt like he would probably want me to have a lift. I felt like he would probably want me to, get everything looking like it did before I had babies. And, it wasn't until I brought it up and we really started talking about it. And even last night we were talking about it. He liked, at this point, it's hard for him to judge because I have scars and, everything. It's just, we aren't to the point. Tomorrow I'll be 6 weeks post-op. But, so that's what I want to say is, don't think we're tougher on ourselves than they are. And I don't think men are as judgmental even about stuff like that as we are. So that's just something that was kind of surprising to me, and eye-opening. And so, okay, so we had the consultation. Then you have to put some money down to be able to make your pre-op, and then you go to your pre-op and you discuss with them again what you're going to be going through, because this is the last appointment that you will see them until the day of your surgery. And it's usually, I think, a week before your surgery. So they go over with you again what they're going to do. They go over with you again, like your medications, what to expect. You sign all your papers then. You kind of get everything ready so that on the day of your surgery, it's going to be real easy, and you kind of just go in there and everybody knows what they expect, kind of stuff like that. So this is an important thing that I want to tell you. There is like I was telling you with my blepharoplasty, that there's kind of like a little formula that they use. There's also a formula that they use with the mastopexy, the lift. They measure from this bone down to, I'm gonna have to keep saying that word nipple, and I know that's not a beautiful word, but you know what I mean. It's uncomfortable, but that's just what it is. So they measure from here, and they have like a formula. What is the ideal, positioning that they want to go for? And that's what they do. So on the day of surgery, you stand up, put your hands down, relax, and they mark you. And it goes from here down, and then I think they measure they might do a measurement like this too, and then there is a certain circumference of your nipple that they, you know, is considered, you know, desirable, not normal, not light, just, you know, their little formula that they use. And they tell you all about that, and they actually draw it, and you'll even see it in, you know, the diagrams and stuff. And what you do then is you explain to them what you want. Like, say I didn't want any, you know, boobs hardly at all anymore. I was just tired of it. Well, I could have had my implants taken out and nothing put in. Or I could have, um, you know, taken those old ones out and put a smaller one in. And then he said it would be kind of like a tennis ball at the end of a sock, you know. It was like, you know, they go over your options with you. And so what I requested is I wanted something that you don't really, you know, people say, oh, I want a C, or I want a D, or I want a B. It's not really like that. Either time it wasn't like that when I went in. It was kind of like you tell them the look that you want, and then you have to kind of trust them. And then I showed them lots of pictures. My favorite picture, I've got it right here, was a picture of Penelope Cruz. And I just loved her look. She wasn't too big. It wasn't over the top. Before, what I didn't like about my boobs when I had cleavage is it was just like one long line. And they were just so fat and wide. I just wanted like a neater appearance, and I wanted more volume up at the top. So now when you see me in a lower cut shirt, it might look like they're even bigger, but it's just that I have more volume at the top. And so that's what you discuss. I think that's called pole volume, I think. And so that's what I told them I wanted. And so what they do is in surgery, they have like these try-on implants, and they will literally put them in you and sit you up. And the doctor and the nurses, he had both of them advising him on what looks best. And actually, John told me this when we got home. He said, yeah, Dr. Case said actually he liked one size up than what he gave me. He thought they looked great, but both nurses said no, she didn't want to be that big. You know, she didn't want to be that big. So they opted for the size that I've got, which I'm glad. In a way, I thought, gosh, I should have just told him to do what he wants, because I'm real, like I've told you, I trust his opinion. But now I think I've still got plenty. But so it's real good, you know, you really need to communicate. Don't be afraid to show them picture after picture. Don't be afraid to tell them exactly what you want. Don't be embarrassed to say, you know, I still want to look sexy. You know, just tell them exactly what you want. So then you go into, oh, okay, let me get into what type of implant I decided to get. Now there is a new gel implant, and implants have come a long way since I had the first one. And there is a new silicone gel, and a lot of times people call it the gummy bear implant, but she showed it to me on our consultation. She brought it out and showed it to us, and it's so soft, it's firm. It's not the type that if you were to rupture it, or if it were to burst, that silicone is going to leak out. I don't know if you guys saw Yolanda on the Beverly Hills Housewives, where she had silicone like all up in her collarbone. It's not going to do anything like that, because it's like a gummy bear. You can literally slice a piece of it off and squeeze the rest of it, and it won't come out. So that is the type that I have, and it is called, the brand name of it is Naturel, and it's by Allergan, and that's the brand that they use now. So the one that I got and the one that he chose for me is very common in girls like me that have a small, I don't feel like you can see, a small frame. Every time that someone measures me, like right here, when I get fitted for bras, they comment about how small I am right here. That I measure, they usually want me to wear 32, but I actually measure less than that. And so these implants that I got are made for women with a small frame, and they're actually called high profile, so that they're not very big around, but your volume comes in the dimension like that. And I'm going to put a picture right here of, this is really neat. When they took out my old implants, they literally put them on the table, beside my new ones and took pictures of it for me. And I am so thankful for that because one, I was so curious what mine looked like after being in my body for 12 years. And it is so eye-opening and so neat to see the difference in the shape. So I'm going to put that right here. Isn't that amazing? And so as you can see, there's just totally different. My other ones were really big around and not as big of a profile. And so that's what made me look like they were just really big, but yet they didn't come out real far. Where these fit in more of my frame, but they do come out as a little bit further. As far as the volume, I think they were about the same size, but the saline ones, what they do is they filled it. I can remember it was like a 3 something, and they filled it to 410 and so, or something like that. They can fill them over, whereas these are just, you get what you get. So, and this is what has been amazing to me. As much to me as I look so much smaller, I'm wearing the same bra size. I can literally wear my same bras. Now I don't spill out of them. I'm not spilling out of the side right here, and I'm not spilling out right here. And the new ones that I got, I keep getting measured, and I always measure still either a 32 triple, or I would rather wear a 34 double because I just don't like that feeling of it being so tight. Now I know that's probably the proper thing for me to wear, but anyway, so that's, what has been interesting to me. And I can wear a 34D, which is what I am wearing now. What the latest bra that I've gotten, I've only been wearing one because I still am not comfortable wearing underwire. Right after surgery, you cannot wear underwire. And so, you have to find a good bra without an underwire. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you these. When you come out of surgery, you're going to come out with this lovely bra on, and I've washed it. It looks raggedy because you have to wear, I still have not been without a bra, you have to wear a bra all the time. And so this is what you come out of surgery with on, and it's got the hooks in the front. It's got the Velcro top, so it was something easy for them to put on, and you are just packed. Now, when you come out of just a regular breast implant, you just have the incision. I had one underneath, and scar healed up beautifully. Okay, so when I woke up, when you wake up the first time, you'll have this same bra on in a regular implant, but you'll just have tapes and everything on the incisions, and everything else will be fine. Okay, this time, if you've already had a breast implant and they're just switching them out, which is what a lot of people are wanting to do, you will not be as sore because mine were under the muscle. And so they just basically took the old ones out and put the new ones in. So my muscle was not being lifted and stretched again. So I was not as sore. And I woke up and I had this on, and I had all kinds of bandages and packing, kind of like a pad, everywhere. And you keep those in just for a little bit, and then you can start taking them out. And I was just taped up everywhere, and there's several different ways that they do Mastopexy, several different styles. And the style that they did on mine is called the anchor, and it's where they go up and around your nipple and then down and like that. And I will put a diagram right here. So you can see that's a lot of skin, and they take your nipple and then they move it up and they make it smaller in size, which I was kind of thrilled about. And so they move that up, and then they stitch all around that, and then you have, the stitching down, and then you have stitching, from side to side, a big long line of stitches. And all of my stitches, even around the nipple, are inside. but you have surgical tape over top of it, and I had to keep my surgical tape on until I think, was it week 4 is when they took that off. And I did have one place underneath where this scar coming down, and then these pieces, they have to take that skin and they stretch it. They really do stretch it tight over that new implant, because that's what gives you that good lift. There was one little piece up underneath here that was not healed when they took the tape off, and I'm going to tell you, that freaked me out, because you guys know I was already a little freaky and a little depressed feeling anyway. That freaked me out. And they told me not to worry about it. It was very common, because that's such a pressure point right there, that your body just needed to form a scab on it and heal. And for me to leave it alone, and if it ever looked, you know, like it was getting worse, come back in. If it ever looked like it was getting the least little bit infected, to dab it with peroxide and put a little bit of polysporin on it. And it never really did look infected, but in my mind, I let it go one night. I can remember just that night taking a shower and just having a good cry in the shower, because I was just, the pressure just freaked me out. I mean, and I told you this before, you go through this period, and I'm still kind of in it. I'm coming out of it. This week has been my best week, and that's why I feel like I could do this video today. But you kind of feel like, God, what have I done? You know, John loved my old boobs. They were just they were sweet boobs. You know, they were soft. They were, you know, they hadn't done anything wrong. And, you know, then you feel like I've got these, I feel like these are angry boobs, because they're hurting and they're scars all over them, you know. And so I just had a good cry in the shower that night, and I got out and I put the peroxide and the polysporin, and it has healed right up. It is like almost gone. It's amazing what your body will do. And I read a lot on different websites, and a lot of doctors saying that your body is just, it's a miracle. You know, it doesn't want that open space, so it's going to heal and close that up, and it has. And all of my incisions have healed just beautifully. I'm now at the point where I can really wash. And when I went to the doctor last week, he was like, you know, he said, you look dry. You need to moisturize. And I said, well, I didn't know if I could. You know, I didn't know if putting moisturizer on would do anything. He said, no, moisturize. So I've been able to put moisturizer on. I'm healed up. It's just, I'm really starting to be happy. I'm really, they're not, I feel like they're not angry boobs anymore. And I told the doctor, I said, I'm so, and he said, oh, don't you love them? You know, because they look at them, he said that they look great, you know, come back in a month. And I said, you know, I'm just starting to be happy. I said, I'm just starting to like them. I said, I just felt like I miss my old sweet boobs. And he said, what? I said, I just feel like these boobs are so angry. And he said, what? He said, those old boobs were granny boobs. And I told John, he said, no, they weren't. So John is still going to have to, you know, get used to everything. And, you know, he doesn't like change, but he is happy for me. I mean, he's even said that he was glad I was happy and everything. I'll show you, this is something I wanted to show. I wanted to make sure I showed you, is when you get home from the hospital and you've got that bra on, after a while, this bra will really start getting on your nerves. One, it looks terrible under clothes. And this Velcro part kept catching my clothes and catching my hair and everything. And you only have one, and you have to wear it all the time. And you will feel so freaked out when you take it off, because you'll, especially, I mean, I'll get into the shower and everything, but especially when you get in the shower, I remember feeling like when I went to wash my hair, my boob was just going to fly out the bottom. I mean, I was just so freaked out. So what they told me to get, my mom went and got them for me, is these. And they're Fruit of the Loom. Just so sexy and so beautiful, but you will be thankful, believe me. They're Fruit of the Loom, and they're these cotton sports bras that snap in the front, and they're packs of them, and it comes with a white one and then this blue one, and there might be some other colors. And I think I saw them on Amazon, but they were more expensive than Walmart. They're real cheap. But what I want to tell you is I am typically a size 34, and and my mom got me the pack. She said, they look so small. She said, I got you a 36. Well, I couldn't even wear the 36. I had to get the 38s, because you're already swollen. You'll be real swollen, like right in here, and you'll just be swollen. And I want to get into next time what to expect, like the first time you look at them, and then next time I'm going to get into the pain and all that kind of stuff too. But so you will love these. They feel nice, and you know, you can't sleep on your side at first. You need to sleep sitting up, and you will really appreciate these. And so when I looked and read the reviews on Amazon, it said they ran small. So when you go to get these, get 2 sizes up from what you typically wear. So if you typically wear a 36, then get a 40. And my mom said they do come in bigger sizes. So that is what I wore for a long time. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do this so I've been not wearing these because I felt like, I don't know, I feel like when I show you a bra, it's better if it's got the tags on it before it's actually mine. But these are the ones, oh, my little card fell out. These are the ones that I have been wearing. And they are, even if you are just watching this for the fun of it and you don't have implants and whatever, this is a really cool bra. It is the, I think it's the Body by Victoria. Here is the nude one. And the one I've been wearing is black. And I have about worn it out. But I'm pretty sure it is the Body by, yep, here it is. Body by Victoria, no wire. And it has so much support. It gives you really good shape. It's not really padded, but yet it has enough so you don't show through. And it's not real tight. It doesn't have the wire. Now, in the beginning, you know, the first probably 2 weeks, I couldn't wear this. It hurt. I had to wear something like this. But then as you go on further and further, you can get something like this. And then I still was sore, and one of my Instagram buddies told me about these. She said, when you are wearing the bra, she was talking about another bra, but even with this, if it, right here, if I was sore, because it's kind of bruised feeling, it's sore even in places that the incision isn't even near. It's weird. Grab these socks. It was a pack of them at Walmart. They're Hanes. They're super soft, and you will live with a sock up underneath your bra like that, and it feels so good. Matter of fact, at first I would put a sock up under here and then another sock there. And one day, I think I had done a video and I had taken the sock out because I was scared it was going to show through. And I went out to do something, and I had to stop at Walmart and go buy a pack of socks in order to even keep on going and not have to come home, because this helped so much. And like when I had that little spot that wasn't healed and I had to put a little piece of non-stick surgical, you know, like a pad there, this was so good to be able to put over that so that it didn't come off. So get yourself a pack of these super soft Hanes socks at Walmart. Get those bras, and then this is a really, really good one. They've got another bra that doesn't have a wire, but it has a real stiff, big thing on the side that would, you know, luckily the girl that helped me, her best friend had just had it done. So she knew exactly what I was going through. She knew exactly what I needed. And this is what she said. And she also said that a lot of girls that just get regular implants, not the Mastopexy, they get this because you can't have an underwire at first. And they're pretty bras. They separate and just really, really comfortable. And let's see, this one was $46.50. This one is like a limited edition, and I liked that it was smooth, and I love the color. And I think this one was $44.50 because it doesn't have the lace. And then the black one I have is the first one I have, and it has the lace. I have been using the Skin Medica Scar Recovery Gel, and they want you to put it on twice a day, or I at least put it on every day. And it's a gel, and it doesn't really go in, and I've had to wash that bra a bunch because it gets on the bra. So I didn't think I was going to get to these questions, but I wanted this to be kind of like an introductory. And then if you want to ask any more questions, just ask down below and I will add to this, and then we will go from here. And I'm going to do outfit of the day. I have a new top on that I got from Oliver. I was so excited. It comes in an ivory too, and I think I'm gonna get it. And it is the off the shoulder tee by Getting Back to Square One. It's like the long sleeve one that I have that I love, and I think it's just so 60s, so Bridget Bardot, so, you know, I don't know, it's so comfortable for one thing. It's super soft. It's got a little bit of a ribbing to it, and I just love it. So today I have on the Cool Lights that you guys have seen from Express, and I love these. And they're polyester. I don't know if they'll be too hot for the summer, but I'd love to get maybe like a summer weight, you know, linen or just a lighter weight pair because I love them. And then I've got on some of my favorite shoes, the Stuart Weitzman Nudist Song. The Nudist is a little too high for me, but these are the Nudist Song, and I wear them with everything. So, and I guess that's it. Just real simple, but I just love it. And I think it's a good everyday or going out outfit. Okay, and then for accessories, I have on my little Lilu studs by Sheila Fajl in gunmetal. I love these. They're just the perfect little amount. I have on two rings. I have on a ring that I bought years ago before YouTube at TJ Maxx. I love this. It's like a band that goes all the way around, and then I paired it with the aquamarine or topaz. I think it's aquamarine that my parents gave me for Christmas. And then the nail polishes. I was going to show you these real quick. Okay, this is what I have on my nails. It is the Fluorescent Beige. And I was excited to show you this because it's not what I thought, but I still love it. And it's just a beautiful nude color. I love it. It's so classy, so pretty, so soft. Just a beautiful color. And you can see how it has like that, has like an iridescence to it. Hope you can see. Okay, and then this is what I have on my toes, and this is not going to be for everyone. And when they were painting it on my toes, I thought, oh my goodness, it will definitely look better with a tan, but it does look good once you put on sandals. There's just something about it, and it's called Luxe, and it is a true chartreuse color. It's almost like the color of, it's a little bit more of a yellowy, like the color of Shrek. And then my friend Karen Peep Jr. said this was her favorite color, and I cannot wait. I'll put this on next, but it's called Oui, O-U-I, Oui. And I just thought that was so different than anything I have, and I love these nail polishes. They're just so nice. I mean, I love even looking at them. But your doctor will know. He will help you to know what to expect. And I've had a lot of people say, you know, that, I don't know, almost frustrated that I don't look smaller. And I was just thinking about it, you know, it's just hard. I didn't want to go too much smaller, and it's really hard to take a man's double D's away. That is tough. So that's why I didn't go much smaller. But if you wanted to, you could. I could have gotten my implants taken out and gone down to almost nothing and still, you know, probably gotten a great result. So I hope this helps you. Next time, I promise, we will go through the questions, and then that can lead to some other stuff. And we'll get into pain next time, because I do have some things to tell you about that too. It's not enough to stop you from doing it. And every single person I've ever talked to says that it's the best thing that they've ever done. So I'll leave you with that, and I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.